Hi, it's Theresa with Crafty with Theresa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, in today's video, we're actually going to be looking at the October paper pumpkin kit, and we're going to look at the supplies that we use here today. We're going to take a look at the samples that are provided in the kit. We're also going to take a look at how can we make some alternates from here, and you will see some tips and techniques in this video, so hang with me and let's get started. First, let's go ahead and get the stamping done on the sentiments. We'll go ahead and get our inks ready, our stamps, and our blocks ready. But before we do that, I wanted to share a little trick. The kit comes with die cut. What do you do in a situation if you don't have a stamping platform or have to worry about the die moving around when you're trying to stamp on it? Well, here's what I do if I only have the die cuts. For those of you that are new here, I do want to welcome you. I do have some new subscribers. I hope you enjoy what you see and you take away some ideas and inspirations. Now, on my channel, I like to show you options. So what I will do with those dies is I will place them on a photo album sticker sheet. It's wonderful. It will hold them in place while you go through and you grab your stamps, ink them up, and stamp on them. Now, the first die cut that we're going to stamp is actually card number 2. We'll do 2 and 3 sentiments first, and then we'll pop back over to number 1, and I'll explain all that to you in just a minute. We'll grab some scratch paper, and we're going to stamp off a couple times just to kind of see how well that's going to stamp and how much ink we need to place on it. We'll grab our stamping spot, go ahead and add the color pecan pie, and we're going to line up the words. Now on the card number 2, you're going to use the words joy to the world. However, joy is a die cut, so the only thing you need to stamp on here is underneath the word joy, in our little pretend word joy there, we're going to put the words to the world. Now on the upper right, we're going to grab the words deck the halls, again using the pecan pie ink, and we'll stamp that onto that upper right hand sentiment die cut. Now let's move back to the first one. The reason why I held this for last was this one's a little bit more difficult, not tricky. I just wanted to share just a little bit of how I do it. When I have something that is more challenging, we'll say, I basically line up the stamp with one side or the other. In this case, I grabbed the right side and I lined it up with the two, we'll say, curvy ends on the right. And I looked at that as my edging, and that's how I line it up so that I can stamp on something like that. And I'll go ahead and stamp that, and now we're good to go with these sentiments for these first 3 cards. I think I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to look at the first 3 cards, put those together, but we're going to show some alternates and how we came up with those alternates. Now, the first thing I do when I have die cuts like this that we need to put together is I take some removable tape and I put it on the back so that I can kind of place it where I want it to be. Then I can easily add the glue dots that come in the kit onto the areas, and then I can just remove that removable tape. I find this is easier. Things don't shift as much, and it just makes it easier for me. And so I'll do that with all 3 layers of those die cuts, and then our tree will be put together. Each time adding those glue dots and then setting that next piece over the top. Like I said, these are the easiest ways for me to do it. It helps me to keep them in line. And then as we put the top on, we'll take that removable tape off the bottom. And then what we'll do is we'll flip the whole thing over and put dimensionals on to that tree, now completed tree die cut. We'll take our Merry Christmas and we're going to do the same thing there. We're going to put a dimensional on the back, and we'll add a little bit of that tear and tape on the back also, because it's going to be partially off of the tree and on the tree. And you'll see what I mean by that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and remove those dimensionals and add those to the base, lighter panel. The one thing I did also do is I added a glue dot on the top of the die cut Christmas tree, and I added our pretty star to that. I did put a little bit of dimension onto that also. Next, we'll take the backings off of our glue dot as well as our dimensional, and we'll add that. And this card is just about finished. We'll add a little bit of bling bling to it and it'll be ready to go. The bling bling also comes in the kit, and they're kind of a flat sequence looking, but they're shiny, so they look really good. I like to do the visual triangle here, and I do the one of the sequence near the sentiment and the other two in the top right hand corner. You can do that any which way you like. That's just how I prefer it. Now let's take a look at card number 2. This one is what I call easy peasy. We'll grab our little sticker sheet that has the die cut that is going to say joy to the world. Now we've already stamped the to the world, and all we're going to do now is just kind of gather our supplies and put it together. Easy peasy, like I said, my grandkids, that's their favorite words. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually leave it in the sticker sheet and go ahead and start placing the die cuts that say the word joy. We're going to put those in place using our tweezers, and we'll also grab some removable tape. I am a big fan of removable tape. It just saves me so much time in the long run. And so what I'll do is I'll put the words joy and I'll just kind of secure them how I think they're going to look good with that tape. And then I'll grab some glue and start what I call pre-gluing. It's kind of a crazy thing, but what I do is I start with little teeny tiny droplets on certain areas, and then once I've got the top secured, I remove the tape and then I secure the bottoms. And I thought I taped that here, and I apologize. I thought I had taped that. But that's basically my plan. I put the glue on the top, take off the tape, and then glue the bottoms to it, the rest of it, I should say. Now let's grab our dimensionals and put it on the little leafy items that will go around our sentiment. We'll grab our base. This base comes with the kit, and I'll secure that with some of that tear and tape. Now, there's a little bit of a strategy here when you're putting on your dimensionals for the word joy. You want to place that to where you can slide in that greenery underneath it. So I did have to fidget a little bit and move mine around a little bit because I didn't think about that when I started. So I thought I'd give you that heads up when you start to put this together. And so kind of strategically place your dimension to where it's not in the way where you're going to actually glue in the greenery. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I did go ahead and move my dimensional because I realized it was not in the right spot. We're going to go through and do the same bat time, same bat place for that second one. Exactly the same thing. I had the dimensional in the wrong place. Did not think about that when I first started putting dimensionals down, but I put it on lightly. So now we'll remove the dimensionals, get that lined up where I want it. Then we're going to go ahead and grab our bling bling. Now I will say this, I did not get the O in the right position, but I actually kind of like it. I feel like it gives it like a 3D look, and so I left it. I did not take that off, which I could have done. I've done it in previous videos. I could have removed that and replaced it, but I kind of liked it, so I left it there. Tell me what you think. If you like it or don't like it, just let me know. But anyway, this is it. Our card is ready to go. All done, and I think it turned out great. Now let's take a look at the third card. We'll grab our photo sticker album sheet that already has the sentiment in it, and we'll go ahead and get that ready to go. This one has an adorable ornament that you put together. By the way, I don't think I mentioned, a lot of these have like a velvet to them. These are very elegant cards. So that velvet kind of steps it up just a bit. Now the ornament comes with two pieces while I'm putting on this panel. And it's a white panel that comes in the kit. I'll put some Terra tape on the back. While I'm doing that though, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this ornament. The green portion of the ornament, as well as the intricate layer that goes on the top, they're velvety. It's very cool the way they did this. Now I'm just going to take some glue dots and put those on the outer edges, a little bit in the middle, and get that ready to go to lay over the top of the ornament. I'll also take some dimensionals and put them on the back of this ornament. I don't know, 4 or 5, whatever you think. But I like to kind of be pretty heavy-handed with that because it's going to be mailed, this card is. I'll take the topper that they've provided for you on the left-hand side of Deck the Halls, because that's another one that's going to kind of lay over the top of the focal point, in this case, the ornament. We'll remove all the backings and I'll add some dimensionals to the topper as well. And all three of those pieces, the base, panel, the ornament, and the die, and this card will be ready to go, and we can add some bling bling and it'll be good to go. Now, I liked this third card so much. This is one of the cards that I really thought could be duplicated very easily. So I mentioned you would see alternate cards. I mean, everyone can always use some more cards in our stash, right? I like doing this sometimes. It's just fun for me to keep my creative juices flowing. And so what I did is I have a ton of removable tape on the negative space. Hindsight, I would have done a little bit differently, but this is option number 1. So take your negative space, put it on your next card base or your card panel, and create your own design. In the kit, there are several different sentiments, and there's also some stars, but they're kind of like a starry night star, if that makes sense. So I took those and I grabbed a mossy meadow Stampin' Spot, and I just basically stamped around and created a little design. Nothing fancy, but I think it turned out great. We'll stamp those little stars, and then we'll stamp the sentiment Deck the Halls in that pecan pie ink using our Stampin' Spot. And then I'll take a fine tip black marker and I'll outline that ornament. Just one simple way to use your negative space and create another ornament, and now you have another base panel to add to cards later. Now, I do have some Traditions of Christmas Designer Series papers that I'm using to make my cards, and so that green and white striped is just a piece of that paper ready to go to be my backing for this panel. On option 1, we basically use the negative space to kind of line up where to put our sentiment and our decoration inside. Then with a pencil, we kind of outlined that ornament, and then we just freehanded with a journaling pen that ornament. Works great. You can try another option there. So what on option 2, I created a stencil by outlining the ornament, and I cut the ornament out in the middle, cutting a little halfway point so that I can move the papers around. Now I can make a decision if I want to decorate the inside of the ornament or the outside. You can put splatters on that white space. You can do some ink blending. Again, either on the inside or outside of the ornament, or even just make a bolder, darker border. Now, I promise simple and easy and quick, so my Merry Christmas, I took some paper from the Traditions of Christmas designer series paper, and I went around that border with a thicker marker around the edge and just decorated it with a cute little topper, a bow, and some green enamel dots. Take a look. The last card I stepped up a bit, not too crazy, but it's the same concept. I started with the fine line ornament. I added a sentiment. I added the panel to some designer series paper. This one I actually embossed the cute little twinkly stars, and under my topper I added a gold messy bow to coordinate with that paper, and I like this one a lot. I didn't want to leave without showing you how I created the cute little topper. I took some silver specialty paper, scored some fine lines from top to bottom, about 1/8 of an inch apart. Then I'll cut it straight down at the 1-inch mark. I'll look for my middle mark, and I'll go 1/8 of an inch to the right and left and cut from the bottom corners. That way I've now created a cute little stencil. I can just duplicate them and make more of these cute little toppers. Now, for a coming soon item, I'm super excited. I want to go ahead and try to use up some of my crazy designs that I created using liquid ink and some shaving cream. I've done this in years past, so that will be one that I will use with this ornament, and that one will be more of a vintage card. So here are all the cards we were able to get done today. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this video gave you some ideas and inspiration. And if you would, please subscribe, like, and comment, and share this video so that others can see this as well. Thank you again for joining me. Until next time, have a great day.